I will do a caliper, a left hand side at rear. I will remove that because it's stuck. The handbrake function has failed. It's Audi S8. It will be much the same for Audi A8 1997 model D2. So here is the set I'm going to replace with. It is included bolts, nuts, grease and protector cap. I'll use a jack to hoist the car up, hydraulic, but always for security reasons we need to secure it with this one. I will unlock the usual way as I do with every tire removal. First, without the jack, I would just loosen it tightly. Even though this is a quattro version, I could do it without this. I still do this, just keep it on the ground. But not too much, because all the weight is now on the car. And also, like covers for this, I think you should be gently taking it off so it's not scratching and so on. I'm finding this quite cheap electric tool nice when removing tires and wheels. Fast, especially when all the four of the wheels are going to be same. Like this. Taking the tire off. And then finding a proper place to place this one. I'm starting to remove from the inside this bolt, and also this one. It will have one grip here, one here. I think it's 13 and maybe 14 or 15. So here is the old caliper, and here are the two 13 and 14. And I'm close to remove, but first I need to check that the new component is just similar to the old one. So I'm satisfied. This is similar. So mainly what is going to happen now is that this is the new one. I have to remove the old one. This is just a caliper removal, so it's not needed that I take everything off. I will not be taking off the brake pads. Would be the same. The disc brake would be the same. So it's only focus on caliper. So I'm lucky this time. This was not stuck, so it's quite easy to remove. I will do that here and also on this one. Myself, I like to check if everything is going smoothly, so I will have this special tool that make a little bit better grip to see if I can easily remove the brake hydraulic system. So I will try. Yes, that will also be okay. I'm tightening it now again, taking it off. So this seems promising. I learned to love this tool. It will spin easily, so this is lovely. Now these are removed, so now I can start to move this one, and also need to take off the brake wire, because that is also going to be fit into the new one. I will now remove the handbrake wire. Of course, don't have the handbrake on when you do this. Take it out here, and also I will take it out from this point. So I will loose this, take it back and forward. So here it comes out. I have now more access also to the handbrake wire, so I can finish the loosening of that. So in this case, this housing, we can just let it be there. Remove or just keep the brake pads, because we're gonna concentrate on the caliper. I'm just a hobby mechanic, but in tool like integration, I choose to put a screw here to keep the disc brake steady. But now I'm going to loose the clamp to remove the handbrake wire. It will be twisted like this and clips off like this. And then we can remove the handbrake wire. And here it goes. And remove this one. And take out the handbrake wire. Check that the rubber is okay. It seems nice. So I just leave it here. Before removing the brake rubber, I will check that it is in good condition. And I see some people actually clamp it, put it together, so it will be no leakage. I also will consider if I should put it to a higher level to get it on the same level as the reservoir in the front of the car. That way that it will not leak. I now choose to measure the distance that it already have, the old one have, because I'm not going to remove any one. The brake shoes or pads. So I measure here, and I will adjust the new one to this measurements. So it will be like just 2 millimeters more open. Try that version. I just find a suitable tool. Push it in, and then I turn anti-clockwise, and I see that it is expanding. So I will just expand it to the right measurement. of what I got on the old one. This is the first time I do this on this kind of Audi, so maybe I don't find the optimal technique, but at least now I've adjusted. So I just keep 1 millimeter or 2 millimeter extra from what I measured from the old one. So I'm preparing then number 11 for the bleeder nipple to be able to open and get out of the air of the brake liquid. This needs to be removed, and then place the fluid. I will now loosen this brake hose and then rotating the caliper to get it off. So this will not be crushed. I'm choosing to keep the brake hose upward position, that it might not take in too much air. Then I rotate the new caliper on by hand force, and the rest I will take by the screwdriver, number 14, and then I'm starting the bleeding process. So I've just opened the nut and it automatically starts bleeding. I intuitively keep it in upright position so the bleeding hole is a little bit higher than the brake clamp. It also goes into a bin because this kind of liquid should not be on the floor or otherwise, not on the fingers, not anywhere else than in a bin. Then I put back the handbrake wire and also mount this adapter into its place. This is gently able to move by the power of hand, so I don't need special tool. This is mounted. Now the wire is into its place, so I move to next step. Moving this one, actually this expanded, so what I did before was not that good idea. So I need to press it a little bit in again. I combine the same tool as I used before, but also I use this squeezer, and then we'll get it a little bit in again to get it just in the right gap. Normally there is a special tool for this operation, but it's not illegal to improvise, so this functions quite well. Now the gap is back to where it should be, so I'll continue. I make sure that the clips are just in place. With the brakes, nothing must go wrong. In this case I decide just to keep the brake pads and do nothing more with them, because they are not long time ago they were removed, so it seems to be okay. And then fasten this screw here and the screw here again. So I'm nearly finished now. So it's time to tighten it all. I'll just make sure that this cable is firmly. Check everything. Then I will finish brake slider. Then it's time for the bleeding process. I will take some brake fluid and put it on in the front, in the reservoir, and then I will start the bleeding process. I'm alone now, so I need to try to find a way to do it easily, because if you don't have a machine to do it, normally you can be two persons, one pushing down the brake pedal, the other person tightening and untightening the bleeder screw just by behind here. So when the brake pedal is opened, you open the bleeder screw, there will come some liquid flow. The point with this is to get all the air. It needs to be 100% fluid inside the brakes. If it's just a little air, that will soften it too much. When the brake is down, the bleeder screw needs to be tightened to not let air go back in the system. And that way you go pump, open, release and tighten. So, but I will now try to do another technique. Here is the old one, here is the new one. And I will try to get into it. A rubber, a plastic that actually is for medicine use. It is about improvising. So this one I can click, unclick, and it will lock itself. And that way, and here actually you can see a little bit what I'm speaking about. Inside here, it's some air, it's some liquid. And also here when I'm pumping, I can see that what is inside here, that will move. And that way also I can see that the bleeding process is going on. So I will untighten it slightly, the bleeder screw, just in the back of the caliper. I will now do the process of pushing the brake pedal to establish pressure on the liquid, and then clips on and on to drag the air out of the brake system. And that way do the bleeding process. På norsk, lufte bremsene. So, here is plastic wire going all the way to the front with these clips. And I'll start the process. I'm now inside the car, pushing the brake pedal, and out it comes what is in this plastic tube. Blocking, not air back, pushing again, comes even more, block it, push once again, block it, once again, block it, push once again, so maybe this will do. I'll block it there. So back here, I tighten it once again, and hopefully now this bleeding process have been finished. So to close up soon, caliper removed. Even though this is ABS system, it's ventilated brake because high speed car. ABS system, that is something that happens before caliper. So caliper itself, if you are used to do removal on older cars, it will slightly be the same, at least until the hillholder system comes, to avoid cars to begin to go backwards steep hills while you are starting them. But until now, this also don't have a contact for brake, that it's lightening when the brake pads reach a critical level. It's on the front, but not on the rear. So I'm nearly finished. The bleeding process was, I think, successful. The brake is normal hard now. I could also press the lever, handbrake lever. I put the cap on the bleeder screw so it will not come dust and rust and moisture inside. I also need to check that it's still going around. Yeah, it is. So I will take on the tires and then do some final tests to see that it really is functioning. Okay, I just took up the handbrake. Now the tire is stuck. It was going okay. So I will take it for a test drive. But I think now this is finished. A new caliper, new adventures. Thank you for the attention.